Samsung finally announced last night that its late 2020 Unpacked event will be happening online on August 5th, where we'll be getting our first official look at the Galaxy Note 20. But in the meantime, we wanted to take another look at the Galaxy Note 10 and see just how well it's held up over the last year. Even nearly a year into its life cycle, the Note 10 has absolutely stunning hardware. It's the perfect size, at least for my hands. Thanks to the combination of super tight bezels and curved glass, it crams a 6.3-inch display into a relatively tiny body. And, well, I don't know what it is exactly about this design, but I like it even more than Samsung's newer phones like the S20. Maybe it's the sharper corners, or maybe I'm just nostalgic and this phone takes me back to filming my review with friends in Brooklyn last summer. Whatever the case, this display's held up pretty well over time too. I wish it were a 90Hz or 120Hz panel, but otherwise it's great with accurate color reproduction and plenty of brightness for the outdoors. While I'm not generally a fan of hole-punch camera cutouts, the one on the Note 10 is tiny and stays mostly out of my way. Of course, this display also works with the included S Pen, which I still love for its double function as a remote shutter for the cameras. If there's anything missing from the Note 10's hardware, it's 5G support and a high refresh rate display. To be fair, Samsung did release a separate Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G variant alongside the standard Note 10 and Note 10 Plus last year, but these days 5G has become a standard feature of any flagship release. Now, where I live in central Indianapolis, 5G still isn't exactly widespread, so this isn't a big deal to me, but your priorities may be different depending on where you live. On the software side, the Note 10 has been updated to Android 10 since our initial review went live, which brings with it Samsung's One UI 2.0. It makes the phone even better for one-handed use, and general performance is as fast and responsive as ever. Now, I'm not a big fan of Samsung's default launcher, so I installed Lawnchair 2 last week. It's been great, but Samsung still doesn't support Android 10's gesture navigation when using third-party launchers, which has forced me back to the old 3-button navigation. It's annoying, but it should hopefully be resolved once One UI 2.5 rolls out sometime later this year. So let's talk for a second about the cameras on the Note 10, because for as good as the sensors themselves are, the image processing always left me wanting more, and that really hasn't changed with software updates. The 3 cameras on the back of the phone are great, and I love that you get both an ultra-wide and a telephoto lens in addition to the main sensor, which is still pretty impressive. But just as I criticized in my S20 Ultra review, Samsung's image processing really goes overboard with saturation and sharpening. There's always a strong banding effect in the sky, and shadow details always get lifted as the camera tries to put out the brightest shot possible. It's Instagrammable, but it isn't natural, and depending on what kind of photographer you are, this could be a good or a bad thing. Personally, I'm not a fan, but that doesn't mean I can't get photos that I'm happy with out of the Note 10. Now, right now, you can get the Note 10 for around $800 for most retailers, and that puts it right in line with phones like the Pixel 4, OnePlus 8, and LG V60. All of those phones have their own sets of pros and cons, but honestly, the Note 10 feels just as new and modern as any of them, so long as you can look past the 60Hz display, which you can. If anything, revisiting the Note 10 just gets me even more hyped for the upcoming Note 20. Even if the smaller variant is just a Note 10 with the S20's larger camera sensors, 5G support, and a 120Hz display, it's gonna be pretty hard to beat. We'll have to wait until August 5th to see exactly what Samsung has in store. In the meantime though, Alex Dobie just put out a rumors video going over what we already know about the Note 20. Be sure to give that a watch and subscribe to Android Central while you're here. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, stay safe everybody.